and the
Okay, tell me what you found.
The and the the is there.
Oh, that's because it's a schwa.
Yeah, but what?
The story is about do we say The story is about a hungry, hairy giant. We don't really say that, do we?
Yeah, we don't.
We say the story is about
But what is interesting is the is there, and it looks a little bit funny because the is there, so it doesn't really look like a real life letter.
I think it does.
I don't.
Do you know why I think? I think in this word, the letter A, or A, is just a sound pick for the schwa sound.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. It's like in this word, you know, here in this word, like in your name. Why? I just want to show you, in this word here, the sound is E, and the sound pick is a Y. And look, sound E, sound pick Y, sound E, sound pick Y, and like your name, Avery, you've got a sound pick Y. But Amari's name, his name doesn't have a Y on the end. His name has an I on the end. But it still says E, Amari.
Oh, no, I found another thing. No, that's not interesting. No, that's not interesting.
No?
Nothing interesting.
Okay.
No. Now I've had time now.
Right, so we're in the spell checks corner. I'm just going to talk about things that I see when I'm assessing children, when I'm trying to work out what they're hearing, how they're mapping it to what they're seeing, how we're connecting the speech and print and the print and speech. So this one was a really interesting one. It comes up a lot, a lot. This can be a word. Story is about a hungry, hairy, the word The problem is, in a lot of phonics programs, children are shown this and straight away they have to go, I've seen some classrooms when they look at that and they go, and all sorts of other things, but they look at that and they're trained to, say, You understand why, you understand the concept, but all the child knows is, at the beginning, I look at that and I go, And that means when they see this is an isolated letter, an isolated grapheme, straight away their brain goes, And it's very early on in the beginning of their first year of school where they start to do this. So what we used to do is say, this is the letter A. That's its name. There's a capital A and there's a lowercase a. It might look different in different fonts and different books or whatever, but the letter is an A. And we sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So we know that this is a letter of the alphabet, and its name is A. What we also want children to know is this can also be a picture of a sound. If I listen for the word ant, the way I say it, ant, I've got 3 sounds when I say that word. So if I think about the pictures of the sounds in that word, the picture for looks like this. The picture for looks like this. The picture for t looks like this. This is why we have the speech sound play plan. The first few days, if we're in reception, the first 5 days are just about listening for the sounds in our names, the sound in everything that we say. But we have a focus on the sounds s, t, p, I, And we even have a little speech sound monster. Here are all the speech sound monsters. They all say the sounds of English. So this one says s. This one says This one says t. This one says p. And this one says I. And this one says So the speech sound play plan, we're focused on listening for s, at, p, I, and we might build words in sounds like sip, sip, sip. Where does the s go? Where does the it go? Where does the p go? We might go ant, ant, ant. Where does the a go? Where does the n go? Where does the t go? Ant, ant. What about if I put the t just there and then put an at there and put an n there? What is it now? and tan. So we have these visual prompts, they're pictures that when we say the words in my accent, in a British accent, we say ant, nap, nip, sip, tip. And that's how by day 5, when we talk about, when we were listening for ip, here are the pictures of the sounds. So if we're going to put the pictures of the sounds down on paper, which is what we're doing when we're writing, we're going to go I, p, sip. They're just pictures of sounds. That's when the children goes, yes, that's an S. And we go, it is, that's the letter name. But in this word, it's the picture for the sound S. So when children look at this, we want them to think, yes, it's the letter A, but is it a picture of a sound in this word? Now, what they're also going to discover is that this actually could be a picture of at least 9 different sounds. Think of these words. The A represents 9 different sounds in all of these words. We are not going to teach them all of those. We teach them we give them as much explicit instruction as they need and no more. But in the beginning stages, if a child is looking at that and going, it is going to be absolutely firmly cemented in their brain, which would be fine if we had an English language where all the words in the words this represented the sound, and it doesn't. My worry when I watched Avery then was that he is forgetting that these letters represent sounds for a purpose. We're doing this for meaning, and that is often a criticism of phonics programs, which I worry about because we don't want to reject phonics. We want to reject the parts of phonics that aren't working for every child. So when he looks at the letter A, he is not thinking it's not the letter A as in representing a sound like it's actually the word which is the schwa in that sentence. The story is about That's what he would say. If he was to say the sentence, he would say So in that moment, he's looking at it and he sees it as an isolated letter. And because his phonics is drilling him to look at an isolated grapheme and to say his brain is already wanting to do that. Brains are very trainable. Unfortunately, sometimes we're not training them in the way that is the most productive for the child if we want them to be self-teaching readers and spellers. So we need to check how they're spelling. We need to check their word mapping. And that's what we did just there. We could see that actually he needs to be reminded that, okay, yes, an isolated A can represent the sound but here it's the word. The word is So when you're decoding, always think, yes, I'm decoding, but what's the sentence? Does it make sense? What's the meaning? Because that's why we're doing it.
So I sent a message to Avery to say, that's the word but just have a look at the word giant and have a look at the speech sound monster that's above the A in the word giant. So he can see giant, the same as the word. The story is about, and you can see another one as well, can't you? The A in about is represented by the schwa sound. It's that grunty So but out, about, the word, and in giant. And can you see that when we show the code, we show which letters are the graphemes and their sound value? They can discover patterns far more easily because it's right there in front of them.